Hello and welcome to BlastOne International's tutorial on this particular piece of equipment, which is called an air prep. An air prep is basically an aftercooler. What an aftercooler does is cools the air as it comes from the compressor into this particular receiver or pressure vessel. So an air prep is designed to have an inlet or an accumulation bowl on it. What the accumulation bowl does is it receives the primary air. Any air that's got any moisture in it is vented through this particular valve here, and as you can see, the water dripping out of it. So ultimately, when you start using these machines, the first thing that you do is you leave one of these valves, this valve here, cracked open slightly. Not excessively, because if you open it all the way up, of course, you're losing too much air that the compressor's making unnecessarily. So you've got an accumulator here, the air comes in. So how do we get the air into this thing? Well, primarily there is what we call a bull hose. So the bull hose comes from the compressor. So the best way to do this and to keep yourself safe is to hook this on to the unit first before you hook it onto the compressor. So there's no chance of anybody actuating air through this particular hose, because as you can see, it's quite substantial. Rule of thumb is, with these particular hoses, if you can depress it with your foot or crimp it with your hands, there's no air in it. So if the end's open, of course it can't have any accumulated air in it at all. What I prefer to see on these particular hoses is a double bolt clamp, so 2 bolts. The keepers are on the top. It's got a shoulder on the ferrule, and that pushes down inside. The hose tail goes right inside this particular hose. We also use silicon or Sikaflex to help assist and hold that particular hose in that hose tail. Also, you'll notice in the front of this particular mince-up coupling, so this is called a 2-inch mince-up coupling. In this here is a seal or a gasket